I have gotten to know, and I just so admire and respect her and what she does. And I'd love to have Maureen tell you about her business and how she helps families.
Well, thanks, Lynn. Radiant Morning was started because I have always been passionate about people getting their end of life, their advanced directives done. So I've had a 40-year nursing career. And what I really saw, most of it was in end of life fields like oncology, bone marrow transplant, hospice, ICU. And what I saw was the difference between when people had these really candid conversations about what they would and would not want and what happened when they didn't.
Yeah.
And when they didn't, it was always, almost always, just heart wrenching because the families are thrown into just emotional distress. You know, I say drama, trauma, and chaos thanks to my friend Nancy Jutton, who likes to put words together. But it's true; they're thrown into just that chaos of what do we do, and
Yeah.
there's regret, there's guilt, there's anger, there's every emotion about what's going on. And so for the last 30 years, I've been hounding everyone I know, get that paperwork done so you have that person that can speak on your behalf in case the what if of life happens. So that is my whole passion and mission, is to take the fear out of it. You know,
Yeah.
let's face it, who really likes to talk about dying? But but it helps us live more freely, knowing that, hey, if that what if of life, the accident, the heart attack, the stroke, they're really more for those unknown things, advanced directives. I got a roadmap for my family to follow, for those that matter most to me, to know my wishes and to know what to do without having to guess and stress and be traumatically impacted by it.
Well, you also help them plan all kinds of aspects about um, what's going to happen when they pass, not
Yeah.
just advanced directives. I mean, that's one piece, but you do so much more. And it's really about, you know, getting those conversations started with the individual, but also with their families. So I'd love to have you
Yes.
share that.
I do. So the advanced directive is one part. The advanced directive is the power of attorney for healthcare. That's choosing that one person that can legally speak on your behalf. And you always have to have an alternate, because you just never know if that person will be there, be available, or if it's your spouse. What if you're both in an accident and neither of you can make your own decisions? Then you need
Right.
someone else that knows what you want to step in. And then the living will portion, that's like, what would you want? Do you want CPR? Do you want to be on life support? Do you want comfort measures only? And then we go so much deeper. I like to call it beyond the will, because people say, oh, no, we've got our estate planning done. We have our will. Well, this is everything beyond the will. And the more that we can do, so there's a dementia directive, there's a mental health directive, there's dispositions of remains, what burial method do you want? And then also, what's your legacy? Not your financial legacy. Everyone thinks, oh, what assets you give, but no, there's what's your legacy? What do you want to be remembered for? And what were the values you held dear? And so many more things like that. Hey, what do you want said at your funeral? Do you want to write your own eulogy? Some people do. Do you want a life celebration? And people have them before they die. I remember reading about a woman years ago, before I was ever doing this work, but she knew she was dying of cancer. And she's like, why do I want to party and not be there myself? I love parties. So she threw a big party. She was on the front page of the Seattle Times way back when she was wearing big angel wings and a white flowy dress, and she had a ball. So, talking about things like that, and just trying to take the fear away. But then once you get everything in order, especially the advanced directive part,
Yeah.
who speaks on your behalf, what would you want, to gather those that matter most to you, your family, your closest friends, whoever will be impacted, gather them together for a conversation and share yourself. with them what you would want if you could not speak for yourself because of medical conditions.
Yeah. Well, that just saves, to your point, it saves a lot of confusion. It saves a lot of heartache when that's really clear. And, what you're doing is you're really bringing, the family community, but also the extension of their family friends,
Hmm.
so that um, this is, uh, and you're taking the stigma, you're taking the fear out of it so that it just makes the whole journey because I hate to tell you everybody, but someday you're going to die. I mean, that is a natural part of life. And you're just making it easier for the people who, it's not their time yet, right? And so
Right.
that part of the community in the sense of your family and your friends, that really matters.
Well, I think Ben Franklin said that there are two things that are certain in life, death and taxes, but truly taxes, you don't have to pay them. They'll hunt you down, but you don't have to pay them. And, but we're not getting out of this life alive. I don't know anyone that knows someone that's lived forever. So, uh, what happens when people do this work is they feel a sense of freedom, that, hey, everything's taken care of. And years ago, there was a younger woman that I knew that she had a major medical event while she was trying to have in vitro procedure done. And she said, as I'm going in and out of consciousness, being rushed into the emergency, she thought, I have everything in order. If anything, if I don't make it out of this, that was like her last thought. And she said it brought her great peace of mind. I have everything in order. My family will be okay. Because she had taken care of all of this well before. And I thought, how powerful is that?
Yeah.
You're in this moment of life and death, and that's the thought running through your head.
Yeah. It's going to be
Yeah,
okay.
it's
It's
going to
going to
be
be
okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that there's another side too, because of how community matters as you've grown your business over the years and you've just gone through a major rebrand, which is pretty exciting. So when you're looking and we're pivoting from, working, in your business and the things that you do and how you help and serve others, but now you're working on your business, how does community really step in and help you there and make a difference?
Well, the community is so important because there are cheerleaders, there are guides on the side. The person that helped me with my rebranding and the website's almost done, but I still have my old website that's working just fine. But they're people from my community, and I've used people from eWomen Network because I know, like, and trust them. Getting to know these people over the years, it's built that sense of, okay, I know they do good work. Okay, I know that I can trust them because for me, especially like community, I love to refer others, people that I know, like, and
Okay.
trust. I learned long ago that I can't just refer anyone. I referred a contractor to a friend, and he was, luckily they didn't go with him, but she said he is a shyster and a disaster.
Oh,
And I thought, oh no, that's my reputation on the line.
yeah.
So that is what I love about building that solid community, because I know I can refer them with no hesitation. And so they truly have helped me. I built an online course with a gal that I met during COVID through going to the virtual meetings through eWomen Network, and she was just amazing. So there's so many resources, but it's the know, like, and trust factor that is so important.
Yeah. And I think that the other side of that community too is that we're building relationships and we're really getting to know one another. No business cards are flying.
Yes.
Instead, we're actually very intentional about it because we go in also with a perspective of giving first, sharing always, and lifting as we climb. It's very supportive.
Yes.
Um, and we really thrive. I personally really thrive in that environment. I'd love to have you share a networking success story of someone that you connected with at eWomen Network. You just were talking about building your course. So somebody that either referred business to you or helped you in your business, or Maybe you work together on a project.
All of the above. I had the good fortune of going through COVID with eWomen Network. And what was local, I've always said eWomen Network is not about our local chapter. It's about the whole big picture. As I would invite people before COVID, I said, don't think small. This is local and this is so important. But we have this whole big chapter. Well, then COVID happened, shut everything down. Everything had to pivot. And all of a sudden, I'm meeting these people from all over the country and Canada at the time. I don't think I met anyone from London, but I'm still in touch. We still do business back and forth. I refer to them, they refer to me. There's a woman out of Arizona that I've done a workshop. We did it together. So I have all these deep connections because of the virtual aspect of networking and getting to know, like, and trust them over these meetings that we had online. And it was so fun. It's so fun when you get to meet them in person, at one of the big events. It's like, oh my gosh, my friend from, Arizona or
Yeah.
Calgary or Victoria. But I think that's the power is not is realizing that this is so much more than just an individual local chapter. The fact that we have the resources we do through this amazing international women's organization is it's been so powerful. And it's what I'm relaunching because, as you know, I had taken a little side journey training end of life doulas and taking it into training into skilled nursing facilities, which I loved, but I really wanted to get back to my passionate roots. And doing that, I had all these resources, I had all these connections. But while my Radiant Morning was still going, I had referrals coming from different parts of the country because I can work with anyone. And it was just so powerful to keep my business going while I was doing this other
Yeah.
interest that I had.
Yeah. And it's true because being a member of eWomen Network, you're not just a member of the local chapter, which is an amazing group of
It's
women and men, but it's also you are a member of all of eWomen.
yes.
And that's one of the things that really is different. You don't have to join every single
No,
chapter like a chamber.
no.
There's also all the resources that are available to you on the national, international, global level. So even when you're doing business both locally or regionally, making connections with people in another state or city, it's still
Oh,
people move around, right? Things
yes.
happen, and it still can be a really good opportunity for you and your business.
You just made me think of something. So I grew up in Orange County, California,
Yeah,
and I've gone to visit their chapter when I went to visit my mom. And it's so fun that if the timing works out, we can actually
yeah,
participate in a chapter that and get to know a whole new group of people. That was prior to COVID. Um, I haven't timed it right to visit my mom since then, but it's just a great, great way to connect. And like you said earlier, with like-minded people, with
yeah.
like-minded women and a few good men that are also about giving first, sharing always. And I love Lift as We Climb because I've always been about empowering others. Well, before I ever had a business, if I found someone that I liked what they were doing, I was shouting it from the mountaintops to everyone because I wanted them to be successful. And to have this where people have that mindset is so, so valuable.
Yeah, it is. It's an amazing, it's just that those core values. That's
Mhm.
what truly for me, that was when I first stepped into the room and I just went, wow, this is
Yeah.
different.
Yes.
And wow, this is,
Yes.
and the second and third events, it was like, I'm where I need to be. I am home. It was just an immediate when you're in that space where your core values align, everything falls into place. So let's talk a little bit about the upcoming. Women's Success Summit. It's only 10 days away, and I'd love to hear what you're bringing to the summit.
Well, I do have a vendor table, which I'm always so excited to share what I do with people that pass by. What I'm bringing, I do have some giveaways. Um, I'm not 100% sure exactly what I am going to do for the raffle yet. I will confess to that. I've been thinking about that. But I am also offering a deep, deep discount on a couple of my courses because April is National Healthcare Decisions Day month.
Oh,
April, well, it's not the month, it's April 16th, but I'm doing the
yeah.
whole month. April 16th is National Healthcare Decisions Day. So one of the things I'm doing is making it so affordable that people that want to can take part in this important endeavor.
Yeah.
So,
And get started. And
yes,
isn't that serendipity with the alignment? My goodness
I know.
gracious.
It's always the state attorney that founded it. He always does it on April 16th, the day after tax day. Although I heard some counties in Washington State are being extended because of flooding. So we're actually not going to have a hard close on April 15th. My accountant
Oh,
just notified me.
oh, okay. Yeah, I got my stuff in a month ago, so I
I
don't
did
know.
too, but it's
Yeah.
not done yet. Um,
Yeah, I
but
mean, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
So it's always April 16th, but I'm making it the whole month long.
there you go.
Yeah.
Isn't that
National
perfect?
Healthcare Decisions Month instead of day.
And that gives people lots of time to
Yes,
step
yes,
into that.
to
So
ponder.
I've dropped the link for the summit for people who are watching right now and following the live stream. But I'd love for you, Maureen, to share um, who should be in the room, who should be coming to the Women's Success Summit, and what are they going to get from this event?
I think anyone that has a business, a small business, well, I think any either brick and mortar, any entrepreneur should be in that room because I remember the first summit I went to. Uh, And I had not been real active in eWomen for a period of time, but I heard Sandra Yancey was coming and I heard she was such a spectacular speaker. I was blown away. It was so good. And being a nurse, I had no business skills. Like I didn't know how to build a business or anything. And that's what's been so valuable about eWomen Network. Originally, I joined it just to think about, okay, I'm going to learn to build this business. Sandra, every time I hear her speak, there's at least one, and I'd say rarely one. It's usually multiple golden nuggets that she gives us. And I remember being in the room, and I ended up going to the national conference, and I thought, what am I doing here? What am I doing at this national conference in Dallas? Except my brother lives outside of Dallas, so I thought, oh, good, I can visit him. And the woman I was going to go with backed out. So, and I remember hearing her say something at the time, and it was like she was speaking directly to me. And I thought, that is why I'm in this room today. That's why I flew to Dallas. That's why I'm here. And there were a couple of those moments, and I got a lot of other great information, but were a couple of those. But the first time I was like, this is why I'm here. And I think that anyone that has a business or trying to start a business, this is just such a valuable community to build. And because Sandra just gives from her heart and gives and gives and gives. And yeah, I think anyone will get so much. And I think people that even work for businesses will learn. Like if you work for, I've been trying to get my esthetician to come that works for, and I said, you will learn so much that you can bring back to your employers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. I mean,
I
I know
could
the
talk
same
on
thing.
and
I had
on.
that same experience at Icon last year, and there was something that Sandra said that literally just, it was like a lightning bolt struck me, and I went, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And as soon as there was a break, I literally started putting it in motion. And it was something that I had actually implemented in 2 weeks, and it was, and I hate the phrase game changer, but it really was important for our business, my
Yeah.
business. And that's the thing. And you will take pages of notes, even though I've
Yes.
got the program is all at the printer right now. There's a one page dedicated to notes, but I can guarantee you're going to be writing in the margins. You better bring paper.
Oh, yes, yes. And what I love to, I mean, I get energized by conferences. I get energized by people, but I go to the conferences where you hear the feel good stories. And I walk away and thought, oh, I feel good, but what did I learn that'll
Learn.
move my
Yeah.
business forward?
Yeah.
And I don't always learn things that will move the business forward. But I know when I'm at an eWomen, especially like when Sandra's there at the conference or whatever, whenever she's teaching, I know I'm going to learn something, or it will just reinforce what I've learned before, to move my business forward. One of the things I share with everyone, and every time I fall into that perfectionist, which
Yeah.
I want it to be perfect, I hear her voice in my head saying, imperfect action is better than perfect inaction.
Yeah.
And that's become like a mantra to me. And so when I see people in that perfect inaction, I have to I share that with them because we
Yes.
can get so caught up in our mind. And so if it doesn't work out, then you
Yeah.
plan to review. Another thing I learned, okay, what worked, what didn't. Let's try it again
Yeah.
a different way.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's so much that you get out of the experience that you
Yes.
can apply then to the next thing, so I am so excited to be there and be working on my business
Yes.
at the summit rather than
Yes.
in my business and the things that I'm going to be able to take away and apply. But Maureen, thank you so much for joining me. And I know that people are going to want to know more about you and how they can connect with you. And I'm dropping your website into the chat right now for everybody who's
Yay.
joining this live stream.
Well, they can reach me through hello at Radiant Morning, and morning is like grieving, mourning.com, or through my website. I have a contact page that they can uh, reach me.
All
And then
right.
I think my phone number's out there somewhere, so it's usually on the response email, and I'm always open to reaching out by phone or text.
Yeah, and you can meet Maureen in person at the Women's Success Summit in just 10 days on Monday, April 13th. Maureen, thank you so much for joining me and sharing about your business, Radiant Morning. It's just so important, and I'm so grateful that you're here today.
Well, thank you, Len, for this opportunity. I'd love to keep talking.
Okay. All right.
Bye.